So the Scourge mechanic has given an incentive to go very fast once again, because there's just so much reward to go through if you can double your map monster quantity. And to achieve that, you need to be very fast, you need to have a good clear speed, but we don't want to sacrifice our tankiness or our damage. And this is where this build comes around. I've tried this league a bunch of Doryani's prototype build. I tried the Flicker Strike, I've tried Lightning Strike, I've tried what else, Smite build, Aura. I've tried a bunch of stuff with Doryani's and trying to make it work. And the main issue with all those builds was mostly the clear speed was very hard to achieve to a standard that I wanted. And Autobomber is fixing that like 100%. I'm not going to explain what Autobomber does. You people should already know. If you don't know what an Autobomber is, go look it up on Google. I'm not going to explain it in this video. What I will tell you is the advantage of this version, which honestly is the best. As of November 21st on 3.16 patch, it's very powerful. You can do it extremely cheap. And it has way more damage than any other Autobomber can ever dream to achieve, while having more defense. What I mean by defense is this: there is two versions to this build, because I've tested multiple and two came out kings. I honestly do not know which one is better, even after testing it for several days. They're just so good. Each of them have their pluses and minuses, and I will explain them right here. Basically, the tankier version makes you not die as much in maps. It's not that the regular build kills you a lot in map, but you know, if this is something I made that was meant to do all types of maps. You can do no leech, no regen, X-proof, and on and on and on and on. And I will explain in the gearing section how you manage all that. It's a build that can do every single map, so you put an Alk on your map tier 16 and you just hop in and do it. The only one we can't do is Elemental Reflect. All the others are go. Some are more rippy than others, so of course if you're rolling like a no block, no regen, no leech or whatever, you know, a bunch of very rippy mud, it doesn't mean you will die, but it ups your chance of dying. Sometimes you can encounter monster in Scourge that are very powerful, or you will simply do as I'm doing most of the time when I die. I've just been playing for an hour and then I will flame dash in a big pack of 200% more damage stacked Scourge monster and I will die. And it doesn't matter if you have 8,000 energy shield, you will still die. So I mean, at this point it's like, why are you even trying to be more tanky? You wouldn't survive this anyway. So my main thing is just here, don't play like a retard and you won't die as much. The tankier version is more of a by the way, the video shows both versions. It's a mix of the both. The big difference is one has a bit more blocking capacity, as we're not using glancing blows, so the everything you're blocking does 0 damage to you. And the other one, we are using glancing blow, but we almost double our DPS. And by doubling, I mean this build can go up to like 30 million damage. So mine, I've never been past 20. I think it's more than enough. 20 million is overkill for almost everything in the game. Cyrus has like 60 million HP pool, so you kill him in like 3 seconds. And the defensive version has something like 9 million. 9 million is great, but in this particular instance, I think in the state of the game right now, and this is a thing I'm going to talk about more in the gear section, but I think with the state of the game right now, it doesn't matter how tanky you are, if you play badly or if you step into something you shouldn't have stepped in, or if you get yourself in front of an attack that can instantly kill you, you will die. So at that particular instance, I'd rather just one-shot everything, bosses, maps, and whatever, and just, you know, go faster. But it does prevent some stupid move, the defensive version, that if you do, you won't die. By the way, this thing, like everything this thing can clear, includes Cyrus. What it does not include is Uber Elder. There's just too much pool of things on the ground. You can't do it. And you can do the Maven fight, but I haven't managed to do it. You can do all the encounters though, every single Guardian and whatnot. All right, so I just want to say out front that I'm sorry for the production quality. It's a bit lower than what you were used to, but I haven't done a video in a long time. My green screen fucked up, and like my lighting is too shit, so bear with me there. I haven't done a video in a long time, so this is my second take. I rambled for like half an hour before. I'm going to try to short this thing, so because there's a lot to cover, this thing. I'm going to talk first about the versions. Okay, I've been playing this for like a week, testing all kinds of stuff, all kind of strategies, and there's two versions. There's a tanky version, which I'm going to show you, that's equipped right now on me. And there's a full damage version, which is the version I will strongly recommend you play, because the tanky version, to be as smooth, requires more gear for a very, very little difference. It's barely noticeable, and so I recommend the other versions. The main difference is going to be explained later. Now, what I want to explain to you guys first is the difference between this Autobomber and regular Autobombers. This is working with a Doryani's prototype, okay, and it takes care of all of our damage. And for this, it's going to be a bit unorthodox, but I will use Path of Building and PoE Ninja for this video because it will be a lot easier to explain stuff. Now, this guy is the number one on PoE Ninja in terms of damage for Herald of Thunder Autobomber's build, and his damage is 13 million. His tankiness is 2000 for life and 2000 for ES, so he has about like a 5000 EHP pool. This is what we're used to see for the past few leagues or like years or whatever. This is the way people build Autobomber, that version, and a witch version that is less expensive. We blow that damage out the water so easily, you have no idea. Doryani's prototype is the new way to build Autobomber. You will never want to play this type of Autobomber again. This is how it works. Basically, if you've played those Autobombers, they're great to map, shit to boss, and that's about it. And even for map, my experience, I've done this Autobomber in this league, same kind of thing, and it's very icky at certain spots because you will die regardless on chaos damage, because his health is less than 3000. So if he gets hit by a 3000 and more chaos damage hit, he will die. And those people who played Autobombers know what I'm talking about. If you get hit by projectiles, skeleton archers, beasts that throw projectiles at you, they will hit you before your Herald of Thunder procs on them, and they will kill you regardless of your health because you're not tanky enough and your only defense is your EHP. We fixed that with Doryani's prototype. If you took this build right here and you would transfer it to a Doryani's prototype build with all the lightning res and the minus like mine have, you would get 30 million damage. So if you are really willing to just go glass cannon and don't give a fuck about defense, take this build, add a Doryani, start stacking less lightning damage on it, and you will have a 30 million damage build instead of a 13 million damage build. But this is not what we're going to show today. Today I'm going to show you the way I optimized it ish, because it's not like min-max, but it's optimized in terms of playstyle. There's a lot of different mechanics that goes into this thing. A normal Autobomber that plays with Asenath's Gentle Touch has very shitty clear. If you look at the Autobombers on PoE Ninja, all their clears are kind of icky, but as you could see in the videos, even huge maps are not an issue for us to clear. Maybe I'm gonna put one or two more clear videos in the comment section just to make sure you guys understand like how good this thing is to clear. And the reason for that is we're using 2 crackling lance, okay? One in our cast when damage taken setup level 2, and another into a level 1 cast when damage taken setup. This makes our Crackling Lance proc everywhere, and it makes as an gentle touch, stacks on everybody, and just one-shots packs. It's extremely fluid because with our minus 200 resistance, our build is either at 10 million or 16 million, depending on the variant you're going to use. And at that much damage, packs are just exploding regardless. We are using the new Lightning Mastery with 40% physical converted to Lightning, so that all the physical damage from Gentle Touch is going to become, 40% is going to be converted, and it's more than enough to clear packs. Now, the main defensive difference layer, and this is my tanky version, which I do not recommend, because it requires more gear to be as fluid. It's going to be a block. Normally, people do not invest in block with regular Autobombers because it nerfs their damage too much, but since we can take it, because of the Doryani prototype, just having a fuck ton of damage, we can invest more into blocking. So what we're going to do for the tank version is using a Thread of Hope, take some block nodes here, and we're going to use mainly a Reckless Defense Jewel everywhere we can. So here, and here it's not right now, but if I had better gear, I could slam one there. For a total of 47 block chance, and if I use my Rumi's concoction, I will get up to 58 and 31, which is a shit ton of block. It's not glancing blows block, so it will just add into the entire thing, you know. It's completely blocked. You don't get any damage from blocked hits. Now, how tanky, how strong is it? Well, it's strong enough, like you've seen in the video, to do every content, but Uber Elder, there's just too much stuff going on the screen. You can't dodge it, and we're just not made to tank as much damage as it is providing. You could probably do it if you're really good at the fight. I'm not, so I wasn't able to do it. It's not designed for it. What it does easily, though, is everything else. All the Guardians, Shaper, Elder, Cyrus-ish, as easy as a Leech build can do. But I'm shit at the fight, so it's like, normally if you want to have an easy Cyrus fight, you want a region build. But ours is a Leech build, so you can't really, like, you melt him like this, but you gotta be able to dodge some of his attacks. I'm not going to go through all the gear because it will take too long. I'd rather speak about the difference between the versions. If you want to have all the gear specs, just go into the path of building below. It's going to be linked as budget version, damage version, and tanky version. What I have right now on is my tanky version. Now I'm going to explain to you how to craft stuff, okay, before I go into the damage version, because the entry cost for this build is going to be 2.5x for the Gentle Touch and like 100 chaos for a non-6-link Doryani. You don't need the minus lightning resistance. Just like I said, I made a bunch of currency playing this build, and I threw it at it just to see if I could scale it more, and it's not worth the investments. But you still manage to do like a crazy amount of damage for 2.5x here and like 100 chaos. So basically this build is going to cost you 3x to start, and then you buy like a 2x cane, and then you upgrade to this, which is a 15x cane, and it adds like 4 million damage out of the 16 million damage. So, you know, you still get 10 million damage out of the build without having to invest 15 exalt in a cane and a bottled fate. So it's still a crazy amount of damage to do all the content. As soon as you have Assassin's Gentle Touch and Doryani, you can go do tier 16 red maps. I would personally wait before doing like Shaper, Guardians, and what, like the big bosses. But I mean, as you get more and more gear, you're going to feel it, and you're going to know what you can do and what you cannot do as you progress toward the end game gear. Now I'm going to explain you how to craft your stuff. It's so easy to get all the gear. Like, people don't realize, if you try to buy it, first off, there's not that much on the market, so you might not be able to buy anything. The other thing is, if there is some stuff on the market, it's going to be crazy priced. Okay, you don't want to buy it. What you want to do is craft your gear, but not in the normal conventional way to craft, because I hate crafting in this game. I want to play it. I don't want to craft. What you do is you just put it in the Scourge modifier. See, those boots are all like 30 chaos boots, but this one was part of when I started playing the build. I put 5 chaos boots in my Scourge modifier, and then I had 3 chances of hitting a minus lightning res mod. It is very common. Normally on the first row, I would get one of my pair of something to hit minus res mod. If it doesn't, on the next 3 items, it will hit it. Trust me, guys, it's very common. I managed to corrupt all my gear into minus res. It's very easy to do. Storm Secret Ring should be your first ones. What you do basically is you use the Storm Secret with the lightning res on it, and you corrupt them. Ideally, you try, and there are 5 chaos rings, by the way, they're very cheap. What you try to do is get like 40 increased frequency and up. You corrupt them until they lose the lightning resistance, and then you put them in the Scourge modifier, and you try to hit a minus lightning res. This is the first thing you're trying to get minus lightning res on, and then you get the boots, the belts, not the helm. I will explain why after. And the talisman is a squeaky thing to craft. I will explain to you how to do it. You buy a talisman with 50 lightning res to chaos, cold, or fire. Any of them would do. What you do is you put the 3 of them in your Scourge modifiers. You try to hit a minus lightning res. Once you do, you take them and you slam Tainted Exalted. Now, they are like 4 chaos each. They're super expensive. Like, if you try to buy one of these, they're super expensive to buy, but so cheap to craft. It is really easy. And you do this until you hit 2 res. And ideally life, but I'm lazy and I hit 50 strength. With my plus 25 strength that I have on my talisman, it's the equivalent of like 70 life. And so I didn't need to re-roll it. It was fine by me. This is how you do the entire thing. So it's very cheap. And this, I managed to buy myself a Bottle Fate and a kind of Kulomak because I farmed so many maps, killed so many boss, had so many drops that I was swinging in currency, and I bought this. All my builds this season were kind of shit, but this one was really amazing to play. Now I'm going to show you the version you should do. And I'm going to do something I don't normally do, but I'm going to do it in Path of Building because I tested a lot of thing, and I tested the defensive build version last, and I don't want to swap all my gear again because it will take too much time and I might forget stuff and mislead you guys, and I don't want to do that. So I'm going to show you in Path of Building what you should get to. This is the endgame version, but there's going to be a budget version linked in the video, so just check that out if you're just starting to have some currency. Basically what you do is we're going to use this little thing, Dance with Death, okay? A brutal restoring jewel that gives us critical strike chances is lucky, and your damage with critical strike chance is lucky. Now, for the same reason that we're using reckless defense, people are probably like, yo, you're gonna take so much damage doing that. Like, what are you doing? We're not. We're an assassin, and we're elusive permanently, and this makes us take 0 extra damage from critical strike. 0. And for a regular build, people would be like, well, you're going to get hit before they hit you, and you're going to die. And they might be right, but since we're playing an Autobomber, we're always hitting stuff all the fucking time, automatically. We don't have to click anything. And so elusive is up 100% of the time, so you will never die because of this. Now, this is the full damage version, and the full damage version, the way it works is we're using Dance with Death to stack up a fuck ton of damage, and then we go for covering our resistance here, here, and here instead of the reckless jewel. So that's the main difference. It's that we're not going to use this, so we don't get as big as EHP as we should. Well, we still have 3,300 life, which is pretty tanky when you have 75% block chance. Why do we have 75% block chance? Well, because we're using glancing blows, and because we're taking a couple block nodes here and here. and it will make us max block. We will take 50 damage from the hits, but it's a very small amount of damage for like everything we have. And you're probably wondering, like, how do you sustain the damage from Herald of Thunder? Well, we have little nodes here that are recouped as life. I don't know if these used to not work before, that's why people didn't use them, but now they do, or I think they always did, but the recuperating life was never the issue. It was always the energy shield. But since we're using Doryani's, a big portion of our lightning damage we get is transferred for armor, and it's a very small hit. And I won't bother you with the mathematics, but basically it gets reduced to almost 0 damage. So we get almost no damage because of Doryani's. Like, it was made for Herald of Thunder, this chest. We get almost no damage from our Storm Secrets, and it allows us to like have only health. This build can do no life, no regen, no leech, 70% less recovery. It can do everything. It can be a bit rippy if you're not careful, but it can do everything. Every single thing but elemental reflect. So yeah, that's about it for the damage build. Wow, I managed to do this kind of quick. I'm very happy about this. I know it's not a full complete guide, like I'm not showing you every single piece I have on me, but it's going to take too much time. I wanted to explain the difference between regular Autobomber and this new version, which is by far the best. I've tried them both, and there's no comparison. Like, you really want to try this version. Even like, we're not using a helm, and we're more tanky because we're blocking. It's that simple. Because having 1,000 more HP, this is how it works. Having 1,000 more HP in this game is not going to keep you safe. It's just not. Something will have nasty, some map will have nasty mods. A big mob is going to hit you for more than 1,000 damage. You're going to die. If you block his hit, you won't get damage at all, and you will be fine. You will survive the damage. That's why this version is the best. I have been playing this for days now, and it's amazing. Really try this. It's so powerful. It's stupid. And we got enjoy this while it lasts, because if Scourge modifiers are harder to get next league, we won't be able to play this, or at least it won't be as easy to craft as it is now. So that's it, guys. I hope you enjoy the build. It is the best and funniest I have played all league. If you want to try the tanky version, it's a bit more expensive, but it will make you survive a bit more in maps. My death ratio in maps is like I die 1 time out of 12 to 13 maps, so it's very good. And there's probably different version out there that you could do with the Doryani build type, but this is what I came up with. I've tested this for a week, and now I'm kind of fed up with it, even if it was really, really fun, and I'm going to try something else. Stay in touch. I have a video to talk about the league and what I think about the new state of the game. If you're interested, it will be posted tomorrow. Bye, guys.